Hey guys. I know this is a little bit of an impromptu live stream. I was thinking about doing a reflection video earlier, and I ended up chatting with Benjamin Boyce. I did an interview that'll be on his channel, I think today. And it was just a chat. It wasn't, it wasn't. It's chats like Benjamin does. But after that, I didn't really feel like recording something and then editing something and doing all the stuff. So I thought I would just pop onto a live stream because today's a special day. At least not for you, probably. Maybe it's because it's Friday, it might be a special day for you. But today is the 1 year anniversary of when my original Trump rally article, when my goodness, see, I'm a cheapskate and I don't pay Medium any money, but like you can see like this is the 1 year anniversary of when my Trump rally article went viral. You can see I actually wrote and posted the article on February 11th, 2020, but it didn't go viral on February 11th. It went viral the next day. And believe me, I remember when this started happening. I remember like I woke up, I sat down at my desk, and all of a sudden my Twitter was starting to explode, and I was like, what the holy hell is happening? And it was because the article had started going viral. So it was on February 12th, a year ago. And I seriously, I just can't believe it's been a year since this happened, and it feels like a lifetime. Oh my god, it feels like several lifetimes since this happened, but I wanted to just pop on and talk about some lessons I've learned in the last year, not just about politics. Politics is like, you know, whatever, but just about doing this sort of thing because so many people want to so many people like they talk I meet so many people who want to do this stuff, or they talk about having a YouTube channel and doing this and commentating and creating content and all that stuff. Like I think what's really important for people to understand is that I never really wanted to do that. I wanted to have content around workplace stuff, which is what I was doing. It was what I originally started this channel for. Even if you go back to some of the earlier videos on my channel, it was all about workplace stuff. And sometimes I talked about politics because it was just like politics has always been interesting to me. I've always kept an eye on politics and consumed more about it than the average person. But that wasn't the original intent of any of this. It was to talk about workplace stuff, to have a place where my clients could watch videos and that sort of thing. And the minute that article went viral, it transitioned everything. And I got kind of thrown into this reality of like, and guys, just so you know, I don't have anything prepared in this live stream. Some of you told me you really like my videos where I'm just kind of like talking, and so I'm gonna try to do that with this. I'm not gonna put on a show. I don't have a script. I don't have an article to react to or anything. But I think one thing that's important to know about me is I never wanted to do this. This was never a goal. I never th- I never in a million years thought this would be my life. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Like one, and I've talked about this every once in a while, I'm not necessarily I hate being on video. I hate it. I hate being on video. I hate having my picture taken. And so for me, doing YouTube and content is like a living is almost like my very definition of a nightmare. It's just not something that I ever thought I would do, because it's just not something I'm comfortable in. Thankfully, I've gotten more comfortable over time with it. But once the article went viral, I'm a big believer that things happen for a reason, and that life will push us in the direction that we are supposed to go. And I always felt very strongly that there was a reason that this article resonated. Not that it was, all that special really, but maybe it was the right message that people needed at the time. And so I kind of thought that I had an obligation to keep going with it. And what I said to myself from the very beginning is if you're going to do this, if you're going to go down this road, you're going to be authentic and you're going to say what you think. Come hell or high water. And I I'm someone that I try to keep myself purposefully naive as much as I can. What I mean by that is I prefer if I have the option of seeing people in the worst possible light or seeing people in the best possible light, I will almost always choose seeing people in the best possible light. Even if that's a little naive, even if that gives them the benefit of the doubt when they haven't earned the benefit of the doubt, even if it bites me, and sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. I'm gonna be just really honest, it does. But, I choose to try to see things in the best possible light because I believe that, that our reality and our experience is it depends on our mindset and depends on what we're contributing to the situation. If I walk into every situation and with, if I walk into every situation with skepticism or I walk into a situation thinking the worst of the people I'm interacting with, even if they're Democrats, I'm not going to have a good experience with that, and I don't think it sets up the interaction to 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 be well. Now when you get yourself into something like this where you're putting your thoughts out there on a very public stage where, every time I say something and my stuff isn't that big. Like my channel is like not that big, guys. Like my platform is like it's bigger than a lot, but like I mean relative to some people it's like tiny. But even then, like every time I put something out there, whether it's like a video or a tweet or what have you, I know that thousands of people are going to be reading it and they're going to take it however they want to. And it's a really interesting experience that to go from someone who like it used to be easy for me to give people the benefit of the doubt, and now I just, like I see sometimes how people take things and how they misconstrue them, and it gets harder and harder and harder over time, and so, one of the lessons I think I've learned with this is that if you're going to do something like this, you have to I thank God every day that I didn't do this when I was younger. Oh my god, guys, if I had done this, if I was in this position 20 years ago, I would have been an absolute terror and a nightmare to deal with. If I had done this when I was like 20, 21, 22 years old, thank God I didn't. I'll tell you what, because I think in order to do this and not let it get to you on some level, you have to have a pretty high degree of internal security. And you have to know that honestly it's all BS. It is. It is. It is and I don't say that in necessarily a negative way, but it's just like I talk to so many people who want to do this sort of thing and they have a very idealized perception of what it is, and most of the time it's people just, it's BS. It's this is not real. YouTube is not real life. Um and and oh god. Sorry, I got distracted in the chat by No Name. So, about this threesome I keep hearing about, that pay-per-view or All right, let me show you what this is about. I'm gonna show you guys what like, side note, I was supposed to be having a serious reflection here, No Name, and now I'm getting into an actual thing. Let me show you what this is actually about. So, when I was chatting with Benjamin earlier, um, here's what it is. He asked me to do a threesome with him and James Lindsay. And so you can take threesome however you want. You can take threesome however you want, but apparently at some point live on the YouTubes, there will be a threesome with me, Benjamin Boyce, and James Lindsay. And that's what, like, listen, I think Benjamin's actually a really great example of what I'm talking about because he is one of the I think that he's one of the genuine people. I do. Like I just love I need to talk to Benjamin some more because we've only interacted like a couple times and I love our conversation so much because he's down to earth. He's not one of these people that is just about scoring points by dunking on people. And that is like the majority of the people who do this, man. I'll tell you what. The people who do this are drama queens. It is absolutely insane to me. I don't know why people would make this a goal. Now, don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's fun. Like I get to spend my days spouting off on Twitter and YouTube and I've been joking and telling people like when people ask me like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" I say, "I complain on the internet," which is definitely true, but there's a cost that that has. So, let me see. Reflections on the last year. I think when I first started doing this, I really idealized the whole thing. I never yeah, no name says I spend my day triggering people. I mean, maybe on Twitter, sometimes it's fun to trigger people, but that's not real life, right? That's not gonna do anything. That's not gonna but I think when I first started doing this, I definitely had a very idealized version of it. I thought, I'm just gonna say what I think and people will either respond to it or they won't. Um, I'm not someone that I don't really believe in competition. So like when you talk about like a platform like this where there are a lot of people trying to, break through whatever, like I never really believed in competition. So I kind of think like you should do your own thing, you should give what you want to give to the world, and when you do that and you do it authentically, you're going to attract people that are open to receiving your message. The same people that are the people who are open to me might not be able to receive the message from other people, so they can come over here. And the same token, some people aren't going to be open to hearing from me, and so they can go over and watch someone else, and that's totally cool. I don't believe in competition. I believe in trying to share value with the world as much as you can and attracting the right people who want to come and see you. Now, an environment like this, that's there's so many people who are commentating about these different issues. It's kind of weird because sometimes you feel like if someone is successful, that means they're taking something away from you. That's fundamentally not true. And I think a lot of people doing this, they're treating it like a zero sum game. Like the only way that I can win is if I push someone else down or I dunk on someone else or I destroy someone else in a debate. And that's just not true. You don't have to destroy what other people are doing um, in order to find success for yourself. And that I think is probably has been one of the points for me that has been really reinforced just time after time after time after time after time. The people that I've had run-ins with that in one way or another, are the same people who seem to think that this is all a zero sum game, that the only way that they can achieve success is by pushing down other people or destroying other people. Whereas I tend to look at things as like, there's more than enough space for everyone to play, and the people that are going to be my fans are maybe not necessarily the ones that are going to be your fans or vice versa, and that's completely okay. It's not my job as someone doing this to appeal to everyone. It's my job to show up and be authentic and to say what I think. And that's going to appeal to the people it does, and it's not going to appeal to the people that it doesn't. And the minute that you try to get into the business of appealing to everyone, of saying what is going to be popular, is the minute you become a flipping grifter. That's the minute. And by the way, guys, when you expect people to kiss your asses all the time, and some of you absolutely do, when you expect people to only say things that are the things that you want to hear, you are asking for grifters to come into your midst that will lie to you with a smile on their face and do pro Trump videos all day every day and talk about how perfect the right is and how horrible the left is. Like, you are creating grifters when you have that attitude, and this is something I just don't understand. If you don't want to hear different ideas, then I don't understand the point of any of this, really. And so I think for me, I really always just tried to be authentic to what I believe, and sometimes that falls right and sometimes that falls left and sometimes it doesn't fall either way. And that's exactly what you're going to get when you come to the channel. All right, let me do some super chats. I see some coming in and I want to be able to share them on the screen. Tails Fox says, "What are your thoughts about Mike Lindell for president in 2024? Would that make the left's head explode?" Yeah, it would, but I also I don't know. I don't know that I would be supportive. Now, don't get me wrong, I have a My Pillow. I like my My Pillow quite a bit. I think that, you can't take anything away from Mike Lindell in terms of like starting and running a business. I think he's a good guy. I think that he has good intentions. I'm not sure he is the candidate that I would particularly want for president. That's okay. When am I going on a diet? Never. Not my job to look pretty for you, Richard. Not my job. Not my job. Sorry. Sorry. If you want someone whose job it is to look pretty for you, go find another fucking channel. Go find and that's the other thing too, is like when you do this stuff, you're going to get a lot of assholes like Richard here. You're gonna get a lot of this. Oh my god. I got so many the other day. Usually they come from the left. The left likes to fat shame, the left likes to body shame. And that's another reason why like you need a thick skin if you're gonna do this, man, because you have to know that anytime you see a guy like this, I'll tell you what, he's compensating for something. The only reason you insult people like this is if you're compensating for something. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, I've seen men that are bigger too, dear. George says you complain on the internet for a living and trigger people for funsies. Keep the authenticity. That's what sets you apart. That's what I'm trying to do, man. That's really what I'm trying to do. And then you always have people coming to your defense that will defend you like they're like chivalrous gentlemen. Um, but I mean, like it's stuff like that, like the insults, the dunking on people. That's something I just and maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe it's because I just like it's such like childish nonsense. That's one of the things that I like the least about all of this. And believe me, like I got sucked into, oh my god, like probably about 6 months into this, and I think it's because I was really this is like back when I was traveling a lot. Um, I would get sucked into the drama so easily. And I think when you first start doing something like this, it's like, and a lot, and my platform grew, I think, quicker than most. Um, like it was so easy for me to get sucked into the drama. If there is one piece of advice that I would give to people who are thinking about doing something like this, it would be like, you know, have fun with it if you want to. If you can keep it in perspective and you know that it's not real life, um like have fun with it, but just know that the drama never goes anywhere. And this is probably one of my other lessons, like the drama never goes anywhere and there is nothing that you can do. I'm right now fighting with I'm in a Twitter fight. This is actually good drama though. This is good drama. In a Twitter fight with a state representative in New Hampshire who is opposing the bill to ban critical race theory. And my contention is that she is a racist. Her contention is that I am a racist. And we'll see who wins that particular battle. But like these sorts of things, like there is nothing that you can say to the people who disagree with you. There's just nothing. It is going to go nowhere. I remember what who was it? That Jangles dude. You guys know what I'm talking about? Jangles. He likes to like he's a leftist that like gets off on debating people. I really tried with that guy, man. I tried with that guy. I offered that guy a civil conversation on my channel, and he just proved to me over and over and over again that he was not capable of a civil conversation. And we got into this whole Twitter fight about it. And it was like after a while, he was really kind of the moment I started blocking a lot of people on Twitter. It was like it was so not worth it. It's so not worth it. So if you want to do something like this, just know that the people that live to hate you, there is nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say. There is no reasonable conversation to be had. The very best thing you can do in order to maintain your sanity in those types of scenarios is to block the hell out of them. Use that block button is your best friend. That block button is your sanity. That block button is your own wall to maintaining your sensibilities in these situations. Tails Fox says, "Did Richard miss the video you did about that on the 10 that dieting is racist? He is behind the times." Yeah, that's right, Richard. Dieting is racist. I don't want to be a racist white lady that goes on a diet just to, impress people on the internet. Um and so it's like Sometimes I enjoy the drama, I enjoy the fight. I've talked about it on the channel before in that, like, I have 2 distinct sides of my personality, and one of them is nice and reasonable and balanced, and I try to be very level-headed, and the other side is like the fighter and the go-getter, and I need to please both sides of those of my personality at some point or another. And so I tend to get into like little spats on Twitter because at least that's a way to channel the energy. And if you have that energy and you enjoy fighting and you enjoy competition, you need to give yourself some outlet to channel it. But I think there reached a point, at least with me, where I went across the line. And I'm a little regretful of that, but also not because it was experience and it taught me what I didn't want to be like. Not that I'm ever going to give up the fighting on Twitter because god, you can't. But I think it also taught me, like, there's a limit to how much I wanna get sucked into childish drama, and, a lot of it is just completely uninteresting to me. Cyrus Cherry says, "This isn't psychic night, but Cori Bush brings bad vibes. Maybe she'll be the doom to, emotional politics." I agree with you about Cori Bush. Cori Bush gives me bad vibes. All of the squad give me bad vibes. It's like to me, it's like they feel very cold. They feel like they feel repressed. They feel like I don't know. I don't know how it's like icky. It's like there's a wall around them. They've built their own wall. They have like their guard up so high and it's like they're so constricted and it's like they're going to blow at any moment. So I agree with you about Cori Bush on that one. Um So let's see. Lessons learned from the last year. Number 1, don't don't let the drama get to you. Like, just know that if you're putting your opinions out there on the internet, everyone is going to have an opinion about your opinion. And most of the opinions that you hear are going to be from people who hate you or people who disagree with you. And those people do not represent the amount of people that you could be reaching. They don't. It's funny because, like, on Twitter, I don't read all my replies, but I do read them sometimes. And the ones that I see are almost like mostly negative. Maybe not so much now. I went on a blocking spree a couple weeks ago, and I think I got a lot of that nonsense out of my feed. But a lot of the stuff you're going to read is negative, but where I see positive comments is in my DMs. So people who don't I keep my DMs open on Twitter because I hear negative stuff in the replies, I hear positive stuff in the DMs. And for every negative reply I get like 2 positive DMs. And what I wish is that people would stop being so afraid to hide what they think and would speak up in public, because when you speak up in public, you give people permission to speak up as well. You give them permission to express their ideas. You give them permission to say, I agree with you, or even that I don't. But you don't always have to hide with your opinions, especially when you're like have an anonymous account. Cuddy Flam says, "Did you see Shoe on Head in DC on January 6th?" I did not see her in DC on January 6th. I didn't see anyone. I really didn't. I didn't see Adam. I didn't even see Brandon in person. I talked to him by phone at one point. I didn't see Shoe. I was like wandering around by myself on January 6th. I was out in the crowd by myself. Um, yeah, watching that impeachment hearing today was crazy, man. Like, and that's the other thing I've learned is like, guys, our system is so broken, and I I think a lot of people know conceptually it's broken. I don't think a lot of people wanna see how broken it is. It's really, really, really bad, and I did not expect it to be this bad. And, sometimes it's like it's absolutely mind-boggling to me what are these people in DC getting paid to do? What are they doing? What is going on right now in DC is a goddamn clown show. It is absurd. It is ridiculous. But it is like, this is all they have. This is all, and this is what the American people want. This is what we all want. We all want these people to entertain us with your absurdity. And they do. And they get away with it over and over and over and over and over again because this is what we continue to show them that we want. And I get it, man. I am entertained by the absurdity as much as the next person. But at some point, I don't know how we change DC if everyone only is a sideshow. That's all this is. They are playing to the worst sensibilities on both sides, and we're allowing them to do it because we're spending more time fighting each other than we are fighting them. They are following our lead. If the Democrats did not think that they had something to win by hosting this sham impeachment trial, they wouldn't be doing it. You know, point blank, they wouldn't be doing it. And as much as commenting on the absurdity is part of how I make money right now, because let's just be honest, that's part of how, like, if I did that, like, I did a video about how dieting is racist the other day. There is no other, like, reason to do that video other than it's absurd and I want to complain about it, right? If that absurd video didn't exist, I wouldn't be commentating on it and I wouldn't be able to make any money off of it. But, like, I think I would be happier if this stuff didn't exist at all. I would be completely okay with that. I would be completely okay with not having as many absurd things to react to. And it's like it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse every day. Every day. I could I have Google alerts set up in my email for the keyword anti-racist. And I have some other stuff set up too. So I basically get an email every time, like several times a day, when there are new articles related to anti-racism. Let me just tell you how many alerts I have in my phone just from today. Just from today, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 emails just from today, each filled with a couple different articles that have popped up on the internet that are talking about anti-racist nonsense. I would be perfectly fine to not have as many of those emails. This stuff is just getting churned out because it is what makes people money. They're trying to piss us off so that they make money. And I what I struggle with is am I here's the question I have. And I'm thinking out loud. I'm thinking out loud. Am I part of the problem? Am I, by doing commentary on these absurd articles, am I making myself a part of the problem? Or is doing commentary on the articles the only way to get to the solution? I don't know the answer to that. How I see this is, first off, it's about, first and foremost, maintaining my own sanity. But does it actually help? Does it help to laugh at this stuff, or is it just is it is the mocking of the article actually just going to create more of these articles? Because they win when that stuff happens. I don't know the answer to that. I don't. I'll look for your questions or your thoughts in the chat because I don't know is it a good thing to do it, to make fun of it, to try to point out how absurd it is, or does it just perpetuate more of it? I don't know the answer. Jenny's getting inky with it, says our country has lost sight of dignity and integrity and valor and is now attempting to change their meanings to fit the absurdity. Yeah. Oh, Christian asks, what happened the first few days after I went viral? Okay, so guys, if you just joined, it is the 1-year anniversary since this article went viral. It was published on February 11th, but it actually went viral on February 12th. So this is why I'm doing the stream today talking about it. This is a good question. So what happened in the first couple days from from Christian after the article went viral. So, I got to tell you, it was. Hang on, how do I get this off the screen? There we go. Um, when it first happened, like, so the best I can describe it is I felt like my I was very shaken by the whole thing. I did not expect it at all. I did not expect to be booted into like this domain. I was still pretty uncomfortable with like Trump supporters at that time. And so you got to understand that like when all of a sudden I had all of them like all over all my social media and I was getting all these letters and all these messages and all these things, it was a very very jarring experience to the point where like I was just sitting here for days just watching the notifications going, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, my life is over. Like, what is this? I don't even know what's going on right now." And I felt like I had all this energy coming at me. And I remember, so I was doing Orange Theory a lot then. I got barred from my Orange Theory for a while because I was traveling so much. They kicked me out. I haven't been back since. I need to go back to Orange Theory. I love Orange Theory. I do need to go back. But and I'm allowed to now, Michael, who's my coach that barred me from the Orange Theory. Um, so I was in Orange Theory like a day or so after the article went viral, and I was on the rower. And so, because rowing is one of the things you do in Orange Theory, and I actually started having like it I don't know what happened, but I had like the article had just gotten like 2 million or like 3 million views or something like that. And I think the scale of the whole situation like hit me and I literally had a panic attack in the middle of my Orange Theory while I was sitting on the rower. I had an actual panic attack. I was just like, the scale of it hit me, and I was like, I started hyperventilating, and I just like, I stopped rowing, and I just like curled over into the fetal position. This is a true story. I don't think I've ever told this before, but that was what happened, and it was just like, um, part of it was really good because I got a lot of really good feedback on the article. I also remember I was on a client call. Like I think it was the day it went viral. It was either the day it went viral or the next day. But it was me and a former business partner because the little socialist got my business relationship canceled with him, whatever. Um, but it was me and a former business partner and someone weird and like a third party. And while we were on this call, Don Jr. retweeted my article. And so I started getting all these notifications that I like the article a bit like Don Jr. retweeted my article and you could actually hear me on the call. I went, when and I was like, I slacked to the other person. I was like, Don Jr. just retweeted my article. And it was like my whole I had to put myself on mute because my whole face was getting red and I just started laughing at the absurdity of the whole situation. and, um and so it was just like it was bizarro land. It was like you guys gotta understand, like I may have gone to a Trump rally, but I wasn't down with conservatives at this point. I was like, I still thought Glenn Beck was evil. Glenn Beck is like a stand-up guy. Like I know that now, but like that time, like I thought he was evil. And like he was like reading my full article on his radio show, and I was like, what is even going on right now? It was the most surreal experience of my life. Revco says, I read your article before I ever saw your show. It has been a true pleasure to watch you grow. Thank you for trying to bring reason to the insanity. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, and there was also a moment, and I've told this story before, but that doesn't mean everyone's heard it. So there was also a moment, it was a couple days after it went viral, and it was right after Tim Pool launched his show, Timcast IRL. And so I was just like, I was like, I need to just get away from all of this. And I sat my butt on the couch and I was like, I'm just going to sit my butt on this couch. I'm going to watch Tim Pool's show and like whatever. And so I sat down and I was watching it and Jack Murphy was on it. And I love Jack. He's awesome. I'd never heard of him before at that point. And the other thing too is like you guys don't understand, like I had never heard of like any of these people that I'm like I had never heard of Jack Posobiec, or maybe I had, but, like, I didn't really know who he was. I had heard of Mike Cernovich, but I thought that, like, he was, like, a racist. I had not really heard of, like, any of these people that I get a lot of my news from today, so that was also just, like, weird and new and interesting. Um, but I was sitting on the couch watching this show Jack Murphy was on, and, they were talking about how Jack Murphy, like, lost his job, and, and he didn't say where he lost his job from, but there was enough information. He gave out enough information that at some point during this, I was like, he got fired from one of my clients. I figured out while I was watching this show live that Jack Murphy had gotten fired for one of my clients. And that was like the first moment where I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get canceled. That was my first big realization when I found out, or when I figured out that he had gotten fired from one of my clients. And this wasn't even a big client. This was like a small little client. This was not even, but it was a client that had promised me work for 2020. And a client that really liked me up until I wrote about going to a Trump rally. And so that was like my first realization, was a few days into it, that I was going to get canceled and I was going to lose clients. And that ended up happening. Not with as many as you might think, but I did end up losing that one. It was a couple months later, where I was joking about Kung Flu, which to me was like, come on, like, that was just funny. And so I was joking about it on Twitter, and so I got this note. I actually made a video about this at the time. I got this message from that client, saying, "Carlin, you're being a little too racist, and I just can't, in good conscience, have you work with my team if you are going to be racist." And so I emailed her back and I was like, I knew you were gonna fire me the minute I met Jack Murphy. Best of luck to you. Um, Someone saying that Blair White was on Timcast last night. Blair White, I gotta tell you, I like, she is completely authentic. She is fantastic. She really is. I adore her. I adore her her boyfriend Joey. I've gotten to hang out with them a couple times at like walkaway events. They're fabulous. I really like, she is who she is. She's very very brave. She's very brave to do what she's doing in an environment where a lot of people on the right have no bones about making fun of trans people, and I think that she sticks to her guns, and I think it's what she's doing is really really good and really really necessary. Some people are asking how Brandon is. I haven't really, like, I've texted with him just like briefly here and there. Brandon is not in jail. He's out, he's fine. To the best of my knowledge, he's fine. I'm not speaking in any official capacity on Walk. I don't work for Walkaway, and I think that should be clear. Um, but he's kind of laying low right now because he needs to, because he needs to take care of his business. Let's talk about grifting. Let's talk about grifting. Power Productions. Vosh destroyed you. Oh my god. See, this is the shit. It's like, this isn't even worth it. Let's talk about grifting for a second. There are definitely a lot of grifters doing this. I happen to not be one of them. Um, you know how you can always tell the grifters is that you can tell, like, if they never oh, he's getting blocked from the chat. We're gonna block that person from the chat. Um, but like, you can always tell the grifters because they aren't willing to deliver uncomfortable truths to their audience. Okay, Q person, you're getting put in a timeout. I don't want that crap in here either. Um, And there are a lot of people doing that. That's honestly been like one of the most disappointing things to me about this whole experience, is that, all idols have clay feet. And I've been fortunate to meet a lot of people that I very much respect. And many of them have lived up to my respect, and some of them have not. And that's always been disappointing to me. I don't understand why anyone would do something like this with the intention of just saying with the intention of just doing it to make money, because this is one of the dude, there are so many easier ways to make money. I mean, come on. There are so many easier ways. Christian says, "My life would be much easier if I tried to succeed on YouTube by grifting." It would be. I used to say to Victor, I was like, "I can make rah rah Trump videos all day, every day. I would make so much flipping money." And I made rah rah Trump videos here and there, and I'll still compliment him when I think he's doing right. Um, but I just don't like, how can that possibly be a fulfilling experience for people? I don't understand that at all. Um, and I generally don't even believe in the concept of grifters because here's what I think about money. Like money is like this is a value exchange. We make money when we give the world something that people find valuable. Now, some people I'm sure, think that rah rah Trump videos are the most valuable thing in the world. And guess what? The people that are going to make them are going to they're going to make money from that. Some people think that Vosh is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Hey man, more power to him. Vosh is going to make a ton of money off of them because he's giving them value. So I don't really believe in grifting because if you're making money inherently, you are providing people value that they care about. I might not agree with that value. I might not want to make money by kissing people's backsides and whispering the sweet nothings in their ear that they want to hear all the time. But, you know, if you're doing that and you're being successful at it, I guess more power to you. It's just not it would not be the way that I would spend this particular time. King Optune says, "Thank you. I enjoy the topics you have and any advice. I first saw you on Glenn Beck." Thank you. Thank you. 4chan Research Division, we also have a scalping problem. Lazy people with no ethics are becoming the norm. I don't really know what you mean by scalping. I would like a definition of that. What is that like when people use other people's videos? What is the definition of that? I'm asking the chat. See, here's the thing, like I don't watch YouTube all that much. So I don't know any of these things. I stopped watching YouTube a lot at like back in like December because it was making me depressed, honestly, and so I stopped watching YouTube, so I don't know any of, like, the YouTube terminology. Oh, remixing content for resale. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that either, like, it's so like, to me, that it takes a lot more effort to do that than it does to just turn on my camera and talk about my opinions. I don't know why people would do that, maybe because they don't believe in their opinions? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, they say graphics cards? People buy items and sell them in massive profits? Okay. I don't know anything about that. I barely even know how to run my own computer, let alone other things. Emily L says, proving your point affects you negatively more than influences them positively. Keep your content attractive, help who you can. You're doing awesome. Thank you, Emily. I mean, I'm trying. I think, it's funny. Like, I did a video last week about being depressed, and there was a lot of build up to doing that video because I was feeling a lot of depression for a while. And then I had, on Sunday, that's why I think, like, if you're gonna do this stuff, you've got to get into some self-care routine, and I've been better at this than times than others. But, I was really depressed for a while, and, on Sunday, I had this, like, really good kind of game-changing meditation, and I don't know, man, some sort of switch flipped in my brain where it was almost like all of a sudden, all this nonsense and BS and drama and you know, people saying things about me that I don't like and all this stuff, it all of a sudden just fell to the wayside. And I was like, I don't even care about any of this. I need to, I need to, well, if you say things in the chat, then I might pull them up on the screen. All right. You know what? I'm having a conversation with the chat right now. We're just hanging out. I'm having a conversation. But anyway, like there was a switch that flipped where I was like, all of it just like it was like an instant wall came down between me and the nonsense. And it's the best way I can describe it. And I've actually felt much more focused since then, which I think is really good. Justin Bentley says grifting is not about the fulfillment, but funds. It's equivalent to YouTube junk food. Any good self care? I'm going to say that's tips for someone with chronic depression. Yeah, I mean, I think that at some point though, if you want longevity doing this type of thing, you have to have some sort of it has to provide you with fulfillment. If all you're doing every day is eating McDonald's, then that's not going to be that yeah, at some point you're going to get sick of it. So I don't understand people who build up their channels just on grifting. I don't understand people who build up their channels on trying to destroy other people. I don't understand any of that at all. Like at some point, man, karma is a real thing and karma is going to come back and bite you. Um and I think that's something that people need to keep in mind. Justin also asked tips for people with chronic depression. First I would say go and make sure you have someone to talk to. I think that okay, I'm going to do my disclaimer. This is my opinion. I'm offering an opinion. It is not medical advice. It is an opinion. I completely understand why people use medication to control depression. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Nothing wrong. However, I also believe that for me, medicating for depression would not be a long-term viable solution. It's not. Because I want to be able to actually get better from it. I don't want it to become a chronic condition. And so, I think that it's important to get therapy. I think that it is important to do inner self development work. I think that meditation can really, really help when you have these types of things. Like I said, like my depression, honestly, it like turned around in an instant from a one singular really good meditation. Now that's not normal. I'm not saying that should be an expectation for people with chronic depression, but that was what happened with me. And so I think making sure you're taking you use a variety of methods and give yourself the opportunity to heal, give yourself, love, and that's what I would do. That's what I would do. All right, so I've been rambling on for about 45 minutes. I didn't really have a point to this stream other than I just wanted to come in and chat. It was a Friday. Um, I will say, like, there are times when I really regret doing this. There are times when I'm um I'm sitting around saying like, why did you put yourself out there like this in this environment where everything is emotionally charged? But overall, I'm really glad I did. I think that this is such an interesting thing to be able to do to spend your time. And I feel very blessed that many of you have supported me on this journey. Many of you are, you provide even financial support either by watching ads on the videos or by donating or by joining my locals or any of these things. And that really, really helps because you're freeing up my time to be able to think about issues, to be able to read the news, to be able to read books, to be able to, do all this stuff. And I'm really, really, really grateful for all of that, to be honest, because it's the time that's the most important thing. When I first started doing this stuff, like I was having to like manage my business and do this stuff and to build both at the same time because like spoiler alert, guys, like YouTube doesn't pay like a lot, like at least not at the level I'm at. It doesn't really like pay all that much. So you really have to kind of like work it and you have to be very consistent and you have to build up other streams of revenue to be able to do it. And so it was really tough for me at first to be able to balance everything. But then COVID happened and, in some respects, it screwed a lot of my business. It really did in like an epic way. But in other respects, it opened me up to have the time to be able to do this. And I'm so blessed that so many of you supported that because I would not be in this position if it wasn't for so many of you. And I just like I really cannot say thank you enough for that because as much as I sometimes complain about this, um it really is it's something. It's something that I just never expected, and I'm just so appreciative of it. Sergeant Hodel, Twitter today, Twitter unfollowed me from Gina. I was like, WTF, heard she gained something like 300,000 followers. Were they manipulating numbers? Strange. First time I noticed Twitter unfollowing me from someone. Dude, Twitter unfollows a couple hundred people from me every single day. Every single day, like clockwork. I think am I still shadow banned on Twitter? Let's see. Let's see if I'm still shadow banned on Twitter. I will come to Twitter on something. I'm not here. I'll even show this to you guys. Well, we're going to discover if I'm shadow banned together. I was for a while. Let's see. So I'm on Twitter. This is not an account. Like I'm in an account, but it's like I'm not, there's nothing on it. Dr. Carlin B. Oh, I'm not shadow banned on Twitter anymore. Excellent. Am I shadow banned? Let's even try this out. Twitter shadow ban test. Let's see. Oh, I'm not shadow banned anymore. Yay. So that's something. But Twitter legitimately does unfollow like a couple hundred people from my account every single day. So that's still happening. Cyrus Cherry, I find men attractive, but there is a mental health crisis in the people of color community. Is there a mental health crisis in America? Yeah, there's gonna be a big mental health crisis in America. There's already a mental health crisis, and there's more coming. Trust me, dude. When I saw Biden yesterday say, I don't know if you guys have heard this. Biden yesterday said that that we're going to keep people safe by wearing masks for the rest of the year. I promise you, there is a mental health crisis coming from these stupid masks. Guys, have you seen my new mask? Oh, I also have that one. Couple good masks right there. But there's going to be a mental health crisis coming because it is not healthy for people to wear a cloth over their face all day, every day, and inhibits expression. So we're going to see it coming. Mark my words. Um, but I don't know. I guess I'll wrap this up by saying that this is quite a ride, guys. This whole thing is quite a ride, and you know, I've met some amazing people in the last year. I've made some great friends. I've been attacked by some idiots. Um, and I think for me, what I'm really trying to do is refocus on the impact that I want to have. And that to me all comes around doing as much as I can to push back on woke culture as possible. I still like talking about politics just because it's interesting, but um, the woke stuff for me is the most important. So I'm actually going to be doing work to try to get critical race theory banned in New Hampshire. What I mean when I say banned is like, kind of like basically not allowing people who have state contracts to do critical race theory. Obviously, you can't ban speech. People can think whatever they want, but when it comes to businesses spending money that they're getting from the state on training their employees on this nonsense, it's another thing. So there is a bill in New Hampshire right now that is specifically around banning critical race theory. Um, I found out about this 2 days ago. I was asked to testify at a hearing yesterday. I didn't get a chance to testify yesterday, but I'm going to be next week. And I reached out to the state representative who introduced the bill. So I will be providing him all the help that I can. And it really does have a realistic chance of passing. It does. I really think it can. Part of the problem is that it's gonna be about educating the Republicans about what it is because people still don't understand what this is, and so I'm working to do everything I can to make sure that happens. And I think for me, like, going into, like, year 2 of doing this stuff, that's really where I wanna focus at. Like, I think year 1 for me, Brandon says, "Thank you for your work." Yeah, man, I mean, it's for all of us. Listen, if it can pass in New Hampshire, that provides a blueprint for how to get it passed elsewhere. New Hampshire would be the first state. And so, how blessed am I to live here at this time and be able to contribute to this? I mean, How awesome is that? But I think year 1 for me in this whole land of YouTube was about finding my footing, figuring out the person that I wanted to be, figuring out the issues I wanted to focus on, because there was no way that I could have known any of that without experience. And I think going into year 2 for me, it's going to be much more about focusing on issues rather than focusing on freaking drama from freaking YouTubers or the numbers. Dude, if you ever do this and you focus all your energy and attention on the numbers, it's gonna kill you. I promise you, it's gonna kill you. I've done, I think, a fair job of trying to balance the two because it was a practical consideration. I had to grow the platform relatively quickly. But now that I'm in a place where things are relatively stable, like if I focused on the numbers and how much YouTube screws my channel all day, every day, I would go nuts. The same with Twitter, the same with any of the big tech things. Moving into year 2 for me, it's going to be about really focusing in on the messages that I want to focus in on. I'm going to try as much as I can to be a positive influence because I don't think that enough people who are doing this are being responsible. And I think, you got to understand for me, it feels like I'm talking to no one because I'm just sitting in my office. There's no one around me. I know that you guys are watching. I can see the chat, but it's like it's a surreal experience to there's a connection that needs to be made when you're doing this stuff between like saying something on the internet and then people taking it seriously and acting on it in real life. And I think that this is part of why I'm so grateful that I didn't do this when I was younger because I would not have made that connection. And I think I've got a much better grasp now on understanding the impact of a position like having a platform like this. And I take that pretty seriously. So I think I'm gonna try as much as I can to be positive, to provide a positive message to people. I don't ever think that hope is lost, and I think there's always value in standing your ground and yes, fighting for what you believe in the nonviolent way. And that's really what I'm gonna try to do. Um, Poke the Bear says, I always felt like I didn't have a voice. You inspired me to start my social media presence on free speech sites. Thank you for your inspiration. Thank you. Thank you. You guys always make me blush when you talk about how I've inspired you. Cause again, like, this is real. Like I don't feel like I'm doing anything except for talking. I don't. But sometimes I guess that's all you need to do to give other people permission to talk. And and that's why it is important for you guys to speak up if you can, even if you have to do it anonymously. Because every time you speak up and you express yourself, you give other people permission. And so start your own channel, man. Start your own channel. Start doing your thing. I know a lot of you have started channels and I think you should. And I love it. I love it. And don't do it to rip down other people. Do it because you have ideas that you want to share with the world. Trust the value of your ideas. Even when that little voice in your head says to you, I'm not good enough, why would anyone listen to me? Because people will. They will. And I don't know, man. Don't let the drama get to you, I guess would be my best advice. And don't ever listen to people. Don't ever listen to people who are gaslighting you to make you feel like you shouldn't stand up for what you believe in. You shouldn't say what you want to say. Those people are the worst of them all. And okay, one last thing. So, I am going to be ways that you can connect with me. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't already. I would appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Um, Obviously, I would encourage everyone to join my locals. Locals is I have some locals members here in the chat. I can see them. But guys, my locals is awesome. It is. I want to do special shout out to my locals because as they have really kept me sane in the past several months. They really have. We do Zoom calls twice a week. We connect as a community. It is just so, so nice, and I feel very blessed to have them in my corner, and I feel very blessed that we've all been able to bond as a community. So, locals, the information is in the description below. I'm also gonna be launching a new exclusive show on Rofkin, Rofkin. And this is a premium service. It's like you pay like 10 bucks a month and you get access to a whole bunch of content creators. But the benefit of Rofkin is that I can say what I want to say without YouTube getting in the way. I know I'm not going to be censored. I can do that on locals too. But I wanted to get on this channel because guys, like, YouTube's dying for independent creators. YouTube is going to destroy independent creators. I can't even tell you. They did some sort of algorithm change this month, or last month rather, that totally screwed my channel yet again. Or maybe it was in the last couple weeks. I don't even know. But like, they do this all the time. They're trying to destroy independent creators. We've got to get off of YouTube. Yes, Spirit Matter says Rofkin. Yes, that's how you spell it. I'm going to be on there. I'm getting set up over the weekend. I'm going to be doing an exclusive show on there. Originally, my idea, let me run this idea by you guys. Originally, my idea for my exclusive show was something like the radical moderate or something like that. Like something about just like being in the middle and thinking everyone is insane. But in thinking about it, I kind of think I want my exclusive show to be things that I can't talk about on YouTube. That would be the name of my show. Things I can't talk about on YouTube. Exclusive on Rofkin. What do you guys think of that idea? It is not a furry community, Herb. Come on. Rofkin. So that's going to be coming soon. And so I'd strongly encourage you guys, like, get off of this cursed platform. You know, watch my videos, of course, still. But get off this cursed platform, because this platform is going to die a slow, horrible death. Like, if you want real truth from independent creators, get onto locals, get onto Rofkin, get onto these other sites. Yeah, Sergeant Hole says Rofkin is cool. Paying $10 to subscribe to a channel benefits all content creators. Yeah, this is actually an important point. This is part of why I'm going on there, because it's like what I was talking about before with, like, I don't really believe in competition among creators. I think we all, we can all benefit. This is exactly the business model that this is built on. It's about, like, when you sign up through one creator, you benefit all of the creators. And so my understanding of it is it's a much more kind of collegial atmosphere where everyone's trying to like, if I benefit, you benefit. So we have to help each other. We have to help each other grow. And we can say what we want, which is good. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it a day. It's 5 o'clock, and I rarely get done work at 5 o'clock, but it is a Friday. I'm gonna go do some knitting. Thank you for hanging out with me while I rambled for an hour about nothing in particular. Um, and just know that, like, I love and appreciate all of you, even the trolls. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And go check out my chat with Benjamin Boyce. It should be up on his channel at some point today. I always enjoy speaking with him. And apparently, I'm going to be having a three-way with him and James Lindsay sometime soon. So can't say no to two handsome gentlemen asking me for a three-way, especially when one of them has a very big sword. All right, guys, I will leave it there. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon.